The Martian signal began as a faint, intermittent blip on the radio receiver at Mission Control. It was an anomaly, something unexplained and unexpected. Dr. Emily Carter, the lead scientist for the Perseverance mission, leaned forward in her chair, her eyes glued to the screen. "Did you hear that?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Her colleague, Mike Chen, paused from his work and looked up. "Hear what?" Emily played back the recording, the static-filled signal cutting through the room's quiet hum. "It sounds like something is trying to communicate." The team gathered around, their excitement turning to unease as they analyzed the data. The signal was growing stronger, more persistent. It wasn't random noise, it had a pattern. Hours later, Emily and Mike stood in front of a large monitor, watching as Perseverance's cameras panned across the Martian landscape. The rover had detected something unusual, an object partially buried in the red soil, glinting under the dim sunlight. "Zoom in on that," Emily commanded, her heart racing. The image sharpened, revealing what appeared to be a metallic structure, intricately designed and unmistakably artificial. It looked nothing like any human-made technology. Mike's voice was laced with awe. What could this be? As they watched, the object began to shift, almost as if it were breathing. The team exchanged nervous glances. Was it alive? The signal grew louder, more insistent. Emily's mind raced. Could this be proof of life on Mars, or something far more sinister? Perseverance approached the object cautiously, she ordered. The rover inched closer, its instruments recording every detail. The metallic surface was cold and unyielding, but there were markings etched into it, symbols that seemed to pulse with an eerie light. Suddenly, the air in Mission Control grew thick with tension. The symbols began to glow brighter, and a low, resonant hum filled the room. Emily felt a chill run down her spine as she realized what was happening. The object was waking up. Perseverance's cameras captured the moment as the structure split open, revealing a dark, cavernous interior. Something moved inside, a shadowy form that defied description. The signal from Mars grew into a deafening scream, and the screens went black. Emily and Mike stood in silence, their hearts pounding. They knew they had just made contact with something ancient and unknown, and it was coming for them. The silence in Mission Control was suffocating. The screens remained dark, the only sound the distant hum of machinery and the rapid beat of Emily's heart. Mike broke the silence first. "We need to report this," he said, his voice steady but eyes wide with fear. "This is beyond us." Emily nodded, her mind racing. She reached for her communicator, but before she could make a call, the lights in the room flickered and dimmed. The air conditioning units groaned as if struggling against an unseen force. A cold draft swept through the room, sending shivers down their spines. "What is happening?" Mike asked, his voice trembling. Emily tried to steady her breathing. "I don't know," she replied. But even as she spoke, the darkness in the corner of the room seemed to deepen, as if it were drawing in the light around them. The communicator in Emily's hand crackled to life, and a distorted, otherworldly voice filled the air. It was not human, yet it held an eerie familiarity. "Welcome to Mars," the voice hissed, each word dripping with malice. "You have awakened what should remain buried." Emily and Mike exchanged terrified glances. The voice continued, its tone growing more urgent. "You are not alone in the universe, but you are far from ready to face what lies beyond your world. We have watched you for eons, and we have waited for the right moment." The screens flickered back to life, but instead of showing the Martian landscape, they displayed a series of images that made their blood run cold. Scenes of ancient, alien cities, long abandoned and crumbling. Images of beings with elongated limbs and glowing eyes, moving with an unnatural grace. And then, a vision of Earth, its surface scarred and desolate, as if it had been ravaged by some unseen force. The voice grew louder, almost overwhelming. "You have disturbed the balance. You have awakened the guardians of this planet. They are coming for you, to reclaim what is theirs." Emily's hands shook as she tried to process the words. "What do they want?" she whispered. "To cleanse," the voice replied. "To purge the infestation that threatens the cosmos. Your world will be the first to fall, and then we will spread across the stars, erasing all traces of your existence." The screens went black again, and the room was plunged into darkness once more. The only sound was the heavy breathing of Emily and Mike as they tried to comprehend the horror that had been unveiled. "We need to get out of here," Emily said, her voice barely a whisper. "We need to warn everyone." But it was too late. The doors to Mission Control slammed shut on their own, sealing them inside. A low, resonant hum filled the room, growing louder with each passing second. The air grew colder, and shadows began to move of their own accord. "You cannot escape," the voice whispered from all around them. "The Guardians are here." Emily and Mike backed away from each other, their eyes darting wildly around the room. The darkness seemed to close in, and they could feel something cold and malevolent brushing against their minds. In that moment, Emily realized that they had not just made contact with an ancient civilization on Mars. They had awakened a force of pure evil, one that had been waiting for millennia to reclaim its dominion over the cosmos. The last thing Emily heard before the darkness consumed her was the voice, echoing through the void, "And now, you will join us. Mars Perseverance's mission and life on the red planet end."